What about this new unified pension scheme?
National Education Policy 2020. Now it has been 5 years for the National Education Policy. Do you know what are its outcome now?
Welcome, sir. Morning, sir.
Good morning. Yeah, please have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Paras, can you please introduce yourself?
Sir, my name is Paras Kumar. I have done my schooling from St. Joseph School, Baka. Thereafter, I did my mechanical engineering from Punjab University, Chandigarh. Thereafter, I was selected in Bihar Education Service Administrative Cadre, and currently I am posted as District Program Officer Establishment in Government of Bihar.
Okay. So can you bit elaborate your job profile, the current job profile?
So currently, I am posted as District Program Officer Establishment, sir. It oversees the establishment of teachers, teaching staff, somewhere around 10,000 staffs. And as a supervising officer for the establishment section, I have to ensure timely payment of salary to all the staffs, post-retirement benefits, court cases, and other service matters that are auxiliary sense related to the job profile, sir.
Okay. So you are dealing with the financial matters.
Sir.
Okay. What are the provisions of Provident Fund regarding like the matter that you are dealing in? How do you deduct the Provident Fund and also this NPS?
Sir, sir, we have got, I mean, the major chunk of employee are those who were recruited before 1st January 2004. And at that time, OPS was applicable, the old pension scheme. So we do the deduction and then the post-retirement benefit at the time of retirement is given, be in terms of gratuity or EL or in terms of provident fund payment. And now after 1 January 2004, those who were recruited, they are applicable, I mean, they come under NPS, new pension system, and we do the deduction. We do, I mean, they contribute 10% and we contribute 14%, and that chunk is invested into a market linked instrument, and anyone who retires gets the benefit of NPS.
Okay. So where do you invest the fund? Do you choose the investment manager or how?
So there are five, if I'm not wrong, so there are five investment managers. One is SBI fund, then there is UTI fund, and even the employee can choose the fund as well.
Okay. And what about this new unified pension scheme? Whether you are implementing in Bihar?
Sir, the government resolution to that effect has not come yet. So currently it is applicable only for the central government employee.
Fine. And can you also elaborate some TDS provisions? How do you deduct the TDS?
TDS is basically tax deductible at source. So whatever salary payments we are doing, we do the deduction at our level only, and then we deposit it to the income tax authority.
Okay, fine. So can you point out few learnings from your job apart from theoretical aspects?
Few learning. I believe that I'm posted in a department that has got a lot to do with public welfare, because I feel that education is concerned. Education is the central aspect of human life. So learning should be that we need to invest more in terms of quality education, not just creating school level infrastructure, but also having optimal level of infrastructure, having a academically trained, professionally motivated cadre of teachers, induction of training, induction of technologically enabled systems. These are some of the things that I personally feel that my learning as far as my job is concerned.
Okay, actually, I'm asking about your learning as a professional. You are talking about the department, you're talking about the sector. My question is about what did you learn as a person from this job? I mean, in terms of traits, or maybe you get to know some new ground reality which you were not earlier aware. Some micro learning which have opened up your eyes.
I feel that as a government official, sir, I should be accessible to each and everyone. I should show a human face in terms of grievances redressal. I should be compassionate, and at the same time, I have to also ensure the integrity not only of myself as such, but also my subordinates, also of the system, of the processes. So also to ensure transparency and accountability. So these are some of the traits that I definitely learned from my jobs.
Okay, any specific incident you can tell where you have um demonstrated these traits?
For instance, sir, I mean, the policy scheme that we are implementing, sir, I'm trying to ensure that no leakage, no pilferage happens at any level. Thorough monitoring and evaluation is done. Ground level assessment is done. And I personally do field level investigation. I mean, field level inquiry, so that if at all there is any irregularity, that is corrected in due course of time.
In the education sector, at the school levels, there is a problem of proxy attendance. So while you are making the payment, how do you cross-verify the proxy payments?
Sir, interestingly enough, the government has brought e-Shiksha Course app now. So it is basically a centralized portal, and teachers can make their attendance on that portal, and that attendance is geo-tagged, sir. So the latitude and longitudinal coordinates have been mapped to each school. So the teacher absenteeism have reduced certainly to great extent, I would say. But still, if there is any such teacher absenteeism, if they are making leverage some glitches in the technological systems, we get reports about them, and then we do disciplinary proceeding. That also sets a good amount of deterrence for such teachers.
Okay, is technology sufficient to control these kind of gaps?
Sir, if people are motivated to not abide, I mean, in the context of education department, so if the teachers staffs are not motivated enough to abide by the rules and the process, they would certainly find some way to circumvent the process. So I don't believe that it is only technology, but certainly technology can make doing irregular stuffs quite challenging for them. So apart from technology, we need to motivate them. We need to conduct some orientation sessions. We need to monitor even physically all those teachers, all those institutions.
Right. Do you know how much is the allocation of budget for the education sector in India?
Sir, the exact quantum of money I'm not sure, sir, but it is about 3% of GDP, close to 3% of GDP, sir. I'm not aware of the exact amounts.
Okay, and in the state of Bihar,
I'm unable to recall the exact figure right now, sir.
uh, recently economic survey
So,
was published. So, do you know the provisions regarding education sector in the economic survey?
the economic survey that came recently, it talks about increasing the learning outcomes, enforcing, implementing National Education Policy 2020 in its full spirit, uh, do measures to ensure quality education, ensure affordability, accessibility.
These are very general points, but any specific point that something new you observed?
Sir, I have not read the exact words of economic survey, so I'm not aware of the exact, I mean, new thing per se.
Fine. So you belong to the state of Bihar. In Bihar, can you tell me how is the economic structure over in the Bihar?
So Bihar is largely an agrarian economy, sir. Not only in terms of, I mean, even if the GDP contribution is quite low of agriculture as compared to people involved, but 30 or to 25 to 30% of GDP is contributed by agriculture. But people involved are 70%, over 60 to 70% of people are involved in agriculture and allied activities. As far as the industry sector is concerned, sir, we have got a quite stunted industrial growth, sir. And as far as service sector is concerned, sir, we have been doing a lot, and the service sector uh, sectoral contribution is increasing over the years, be in terms of tourism, hospitality, or retail or logistics. So this is our economic structures.
Okay. Can you tell me the political regions of backwardness of the state of Bihar? Why it has not kept itself in sync with the national progress?
I believe that, I mean, in my personal opinion, so the politics in Bihar is quite governed by vociferous tendencies, be in terms of caste, be in terms of community. So that has, in a way, enhanced identity kind of politics rather than developmental politics. We did have a good era of social justice politics that happened in 1980s and 90s, but after that what we saw that politics disintegrated in a kind of caste based identities, caste based affiliations. That might be part of the reason for political backwardness of Bihar, and which in a way is a reason to keep Bihar in general poor. Or
New political parties are coming in Bihar. One of the parties, Jan Suraj Party. Uh, do you think these kind of parties will help give the new direction to the politics?
I'm not aware of the exact manifesto or the exact objective of that party, sir. But I feel that there should be a democracy in terms of political party that we have currently. I mean, there is a there is just 2-3 parties which are commanding the majority of votes, and if the society allows coming up of new political party, that would certainly be a good thing. That would certainly open a new avenue for political systems.
Okay, so you have the optional of philosophy. Uh, how you can use the knowledge of philosophy in the administration?
So philosophy, a part of philosophy delves into the ethics, and ethics is, I believe, the something that is critically required in administrations. We talk about welfare state, we talk about having a compassionate state, we talk about ethics in politics. So these are the ideas, the belief systems which have root in philosophy. And I believe that by understanding, by having a thorough concept about these ideas, I would be able to ensure a good, accountable, transparent kind of government.
So can you please elaborate the Advaitwad philosophy?
Sir, Advait, sir, as the name suggests, sir, it is Advait, that is non-dual. There is no duality. The reality is one, and reality is a Brahman. And Brahman is non-differentiated. He is Nirgun. He doesn't have any positive attributes. He is beyond conceptualization. The property, I mean, what constitutes Brahman is Sachidanand. Sat is truth, Chit is the consciousness, and Anand is bliss. So this is essentially what Advaitwada stands for. What it says is reality is one and this world is a myth, Maya. It is not real, it is not unreal, it is not both, it is not neither, it is unirvachan, it is non-describable.
Do you agree with this philosophy?
In some way I do agree with the philosophy, sir, because the world, the empirical world may appear to be a real thing, but if we inquire into it, the Gyan Margi, if you say in that sense, a Gyan Margi would inquire into those things and would find that the world is transient and the soul is eternal and soul is one with Brahman. So these kind of ideas really give I mean, it is my quantum of solace. So I do believe in some sense the Advaita philosophy, sir.
What is the one major differentiating point between the Indian philosophy and Western philosophy?
Sir, Indian philosophy was largely a way towards liberation. So that aspect of Indian philosophy is substantial, sir. Whereas Western philosophy largely developed as a general inquiry into the nature of reality. So philosophy was an end in a Western philosophy. The means was also philosophy and end was also philosophy. In Indian philosophy, the means is philosophy and end is liberation. So that is one difference. Secondly, Western philosophy didn't deal in that substantiality with the soul, with the Atman. They equated in some way the soul with the mind, which is physical. But in Indian philosophy, we have dealt with soul in quite substantial terms, which is independent of any physicality, which is shapeless, formless. This would be the second difference. And thirdly, sir, Indian philosophy was a religious kind of philosophy. Western philosophy, a major part of it is secular. So these would be the three differences that I can recall right now.
Right. So in India, religion and philosophy are interlinked.
Certainly, sir.
Right. But this concept of religion is also distorted in India sometime. Do you agree?
Sir.
How can we like spread more awareness about the right philosophy that we already had in our Vedas, we had in Vedanta, the Shankaracharya philosophy, because still the level of awareness which we already had in the past, knowledge that we already have in our books, ancient books, that is not accessible to the masses in simple language. I mean, you are a student of philosophy, that's why you are able to explain everything, but this was supposed to be available with everyone and to be practiced by everyone. So what is missing in India that this rich philosophy we don't have, like people at the masses level, they are not aware or not practicing.
There is certainly a contradiction, sir. As far as the philosophy is great, there is diverse sort of ideas. They are all profound, very beautifully articulated. Still, at the same time, the religion is backward. There are tendencies, fissiparous tendencies within the religion. What we did wrong, it would be difficult to spot, sir, because we have had a colonial history. The Anglo education system might be a part of the reason. Secondly, sir, religion in itself might not have investigated and put that much of efforts into their philosophy. So practice became important, and the philosophical underpinnings, the beliefs, the core doctrines, that was overwhelmed by the practice. So these I too, I mean, as of now I can recall, sir. What we should do, I believe, a greater amount of public debate in the theologians, a general inquiry, setting up, let's say, center of excellence in our universities uh, to understand the intricacies of religion, the language Sanskrit, because most of the literature that we have of religion is in Sanskrit, and that is not a common language. So we have to also invest in some way in Sanskrit.
So now you are already well settled and you are doing good job. Why you want to now you are aspiring to become a civil servant at the central level? So what is the motive behind that?
In my understanding, sir, the job that I'm doing is really good, sir, because I'm engaged in a sector that I really enjoy, that is education. But I feel that I want to work in diverse sectors, sir. And secondly, sir, there would be vast, I would say, a substantial expansion of my jurisdiction, sir. Second, third, sir, I would be able to contribute in the creation of public goods even in a better way, sir, if I join the central government services. And fourthly, sir, for my own personal reason, that there would be a good working conditions, better promotional avenues.
What is the score of Bihar in HDI?
I'm not aware of the exact score, but it must be in the backward trend. I'm not sure of the exact score, ma'am.
What is the score of India?
I have to read on that.
Okay. What is the total fertility rate in Bihar?
Ma'am, total fertility rate is above 3, whereas the Indian average is somewhere around 1.9. So we have 3, that is TFR, which is much above the replacement level fertility.
Okay. You have worked with teachers.
Ma'am.
Can you tell me about the female labor force participation in your department?
Given the fact that government is providing positive discrimination in terms of reservation to women, so we have had, we have got a fairly equitable kind of workforce as far as teachers are concerned. It is if not in total equality, but they are about 30 to 40% of our teachers are women, ma'am.
Have you read the recent ASA survey?
I have not read the exact survey, but I'm aware of some of its ideas that it gave. It says that the learning outcome is quite poor. Over 40% of our children of
National Education Policy 2020. Now it has been 5 years for the National Education Policy. Do you know what are its outcome now after 5 years?
outcome, I personally feel that the integration that it brought, the early childhood is now integrated in a more homogeneous way. 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 framework is there, so that has certainly worked, ma'am. Secondly, the government has also brought national curriculum framework, so it has also provided a nudge to the state government to change its academic curriculum, to make it more rational, to make it less, I would say, problematic for the students, because it had content which now in the contemporary reality would not be needed. So these two, and thirdly, ma'am, the investment that have been made in the school level infrastructure, setting up new classrooms, toilets, also accessibility aspect, building up school ramps for disabled, making an accessible kind of school. So these four I would certainly identify.
So National Education Policy talks about early childhood care and education. So which government institution is government banking on to provide early childhood care?
Ministry of Women and Child Development. It runs a scheme of integrated child development service, and this the early childhood care system was provided by Anganwadis, which come under ICDS and which have now been legal entitlement based on NFSA, National Food Security Act.
National Education Policy also says that sending children to school very early can be counterproductive for children. Can you think about the reason for this?
What national education policy essentially strives is that it doesn't want a formal kind of education given to early child. What it requires, what it says is that some kind of non-formal education, putting them in some kind of ecosystem where uh, the learning pedagogies can develop, where the early childhood level cognitive development can happen. So by saying that they should not be sent to schools, they essentially mean is that there should not be a formal educational curriculum. For the formalization shouldn't happen.
I'm asking that it says that sending children to school can be counterproductive in very early. So how it can be counterproductive? How school going can be counterproductive?
The reason that I just cited, that they don't want a formal kind of academic curriculum for early child.
Okay, so then we can send them to informal schools.
Ma'am,
You're from Bihar. What is the status of left politics in Bihar?
the left politics is quite backward. They don't command a significant confidence of people. They have not been able to develop the grassroots leaders, I would say. And particularly the kind of social structure that we have in Bihar, as I earlier said, ma'am, that it is caste dominated politics. The left ideology, which banks upon a lot on a non-caste kind of system, it doesn't appeal to that much to the masses. So that's why the left politics has been fairly backward in as far as Bihar is concerned.
Okay. Your hobby is exploring diverse topic through YouTube.
Ma'am.
Don't you think YouTube promotes engagement over accuracy? So how can we explore topics there?
It's not that I get exact learning from a video. It's just that it nudges me to read more about that thing. So it is also a kind of infotainment for me.
Should information be entertainment?
In a way, ma'am, to increase the receptivity, the information should be customized and tailored in such a way that it appears to be an entertainment, but ultimately it leads to some kind of building up of knowledge.
So we believe that information is a subset of truth. Now, should truth be customized to anyone's requirement?
No, certainly not, ma'am. The way we understand truth also matters. Information is in a way a subset of fact, and fact in a way is a subset of truth. As far as customization of truth is concerned, as the Vedas rightly point that let truth come from all the sides, or ekam sad vipra bahuda vadanti, that says the truth can manifest in different ways, but the essential and the absolute truth is one. So as far as the question of ma'am goes, is that whether we should customize our information, I believe that a form of truth that is more he can receive that form of truth, we can change the informational aspect of it.
There is a very famous podcaster, Beer Biceps. Have you seen his videos?
Some of his short videos particularly I have seen.
Okay. So in his videos, there is a lot of content about things like Yeti, or he will talk about ghost or a lot of paranormal activities, or let's say promoting astrology. So, do you think that these kind of podcasters who look modern, they are promoting a kind of superstitious or non-scientific view in public? Because those videos certainly go into millions.
As far as the law goes, anyone having a significant command over people's mind should exhibit a degree of responsibility. As far as the video of Yeti and promoting other supernatural things are concerned, I have not seen the video, but I believe that they should exhibit some kind of responsibility. And I also feel that they cater to the larger audience, and larger audience wants to see things which they don't come to know in empirical world. It is the reason why we want to listen to more ghost stories. It gives a kind of entertainment for us. So maybe they are catering to the demand of the audience.
So he's catering to the demand of the audience, but there is a lot of evidence that women in India tend to exhibit tendencies like that they are possessed by ghosts. They do this when they want attention from the people, because women don't get attention. Now these kind of things that will legitimize it more It will not pay attention to women's problem. It will not pay attention to mental health issues of women. So I think that this goes against the interest of the society. What do you think about it?
I believe that it is a kind of a well prevalent phenomena that women are possessed, particularly in rural areas, particularly in backward areas. What I understand the root cause is that they don't have an accessible, affordable healthcare system. So they are looking for some kind of alternative medicinal system that might not be costly, that is transmitted to them through folk traditions. So these can be a reason, but I believe that it certainly subdues the kind of importance that we should give to healthcare. But I feel that the government should invest in education. It should promote, let's say, grassroots level institutions such as Panchayati Raj institution, social sector groups, be it NGOs, and eradicate any such superstition which is prevalent in such areas.
Okay. What about the echo chamber effect in YouTube?
Echo chamber effect, ma'am, essentially refers to an artificial chamber of voices and opinions. So if I have a particular opinion belonging to a particular school of thought, then I would be seeing the same kind of videos, and ultimately that opinion will become my truth, and the actual truth will be subdued. So this is the echo chamber effect of YouTube, because information is not rationally available, it is available on the basis of what kind of things I am consuming.
Do you think it is your free will to choose a particular kind of video, or it is the algorithm which is guiding you?
As far as YouTube is concerned, ma'am, the kind of data that it takes from Facebook, from WhatsApp, from all kind of websites that I'm logging into, and then they are customizing the feed, the YouTube feed, the list of videos that I'm getting. I certainly feel in some way that it's not my free will. A certain video has popped up on my screen, or a particular video I've been searching. So in some way it is against the free will, but I feel that if I am conscious enough to look into the underlying networks of these infringements that are being going on, I can exhibit my free will if I do it consciously.
Okay, you are educated enough to do it consciously. What about the millions of the people who are not that much aware about these things?
Then certainly it is a problem that their data is procured and that kind of video is provided to them, and in a way they are gauging what kind of video they would be seeing next. So it is going against the free will aspect of an individual. I feel that there should be some kind of adaptive regulation for data security, for data collection and its processing. That would certainly do a lot in this.
What do you mean by justice?
Justice, justice is nyaya, ma'am, in Indian philosophy. As far as the meaning of justice is concerned, is that giving a person his due. So this would be my rudimentary understanding of justice. So whatever a person deserves, we provide them to them through a due process of institution or process of law.
In access to resources, or let's say any academic scholarship, should we give preference to the meritorious or to the marginalized?
What I particularly feel is that merit is not isolation. It is not an abstraction of society. It should not be construed away from the society. So as far as meritocracy and giving reservation to marginalized is concerned, they both are not two contradictory things. I particularly feel that a person is embedded in a society. So whatever merit he is possessing is an outcome of the whatever social economic privileges that he have been getting historically. So we have to understand meritocracy in its proper context. So I feel that giving positive benefits to marginalized is much in consonance with the principle of meritocracy.
Can you think that free will and determinism are existing together?
It depends on what school of thought I'm adhering to, ma'am. For a rational thinker, I would say that this is my free will, whatever I'm choosing to do. But for a determinist, if I believe in that school of thought, I would feel that the whole chain of events, the whole cosmos is making me to choose in that way. So it really depends on what kind of school I'm believing into.
From your earlier answer, I could feel that you lean more towards determinism because you are talking about that meritocracy is because you are meritorious because of your socio-economic condition, and that is because of determinism because we don't have merit other than what conditions we are put in. So, do you agree that you align more towards determinism?
What I feel is that certainly the choices that I'm making is a kind of determinism. What we did in past, uh, what our upbringing has been, but we as a conscious individual can also work to that effect and choose in a better way. So even if that is a kind of determinism, but we would feel that we are choosing it, so it is a kind of free will. uh, so it depends on what standpoint I am. For a person, I'm if my I'm let's say the frame of reference is an individual, then it is my free will. But if the frame of reference is the reality, then I would say that entire molecule of this universe made me to choose in that way. So it depends on the frame of reference.
Last question. Aspiring to be a civil servant, is it your free will or do you think it is determined by society? It is determinism.
I would say both, ma'am. I mean, I'm not sure ever whether both these school of thoughts can be put in consonance, but I feel that it is a determinism in some way, that I was born in a particular place, I was read or I was educated in a particular way, my parents taught me to do in a particular way. It is kind of determinism to that effect, but it is also my free will, because after engineering I chose to pursue UPSC. I chose to study things that are relevant for UPSC. I would say that the fact that I'm aspiring to be a UPSC candidate is a collective outcome of my free will and also the deterministic aspect of the world.
आपके इंट्रोडक्शन में आप अपने अपने प्राइमरली एजुकेशन और जॉब के बारे में बोला है, आप उसमें अपने कुछ ट्रेड्स कुछ हॉबीज़ भी इंक्लूड कर लीजिए. मतलब आप जब अपने बारे में बता रहे हैं तो यू शुड बी गिविंग ए 360 डिग्री व्यू ऑफ योर सेल्फ.
हॉबी मैंने इसलिए नहीं कहा क्योंकि हॉबी मेरा कुछ ऐसा सब्सटेंटिव और अच्छा नहीं है कि
मतलब जो भी एक्स्ट्रा करिकुलर करते हो, जो आपने एटलीस्ट लिखी हुई है उसमें से जो एरियाज आप चाहते हो कि उस पर क्वेश्चन अगर आए तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. अगर आपका यूट्यूब वाला एरिया ठीक है तो वो आप लिख सकते हैं. मतलब इन माई फ्री टाइम आई डू दिस यूजुअली. ठीक है. नाउ कमिंग टू द क्वेश्चंस. तो आपका स्टार्टिंग में जो मैंने फाइनेंशियल क्वेश्चन पूछे थे दैट इज़ फाइन. इकोनॉमिक सर्वे
पढ़ा नहीं है.
हाँ, लेकिन आपने आंसर क्यों दिया फिर?
थोड़ा बहुत इससे ग्लिम्स ऐसे लिया था, एग्जैक्ट वर्ड नहीं पता है मुझे, हल्का हल्का ग्लिम्स पता था कि क्या 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 है. एक दो चैप्टर पढ़ा है मैंने इनफैक्ट.
तो बेसिकली इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में एक बहुत अच्छा सजेशन दिया गया है कि हमें डी रेगुलेशन करना है. तो डी रेगुलेशन में उन्होंने 3 एरिया आइडेंटिफाई किए हैं: इंडस्ट्री, एम्प्लॉयमेंट और एजुकेशन. तो एजुकेशन में स्पेशली हायर एजुकेशन. तो ये वाला पॉइंट को आप स्टडी कर लीजिएगा, चैप्टर नंबर 5. ठीक है. और उसके अलावा कुछ फैक्चुअल तो आप थोड़ा देख लीजिएगा. एजुकेशन सेक्टर में हो तो हाईएस्ट एलोकेशन किस स्टेट का है, और जो लर्निंग आउटकम्स है वो भी देख लीजिएगा स्टेट वाइज. मतलब पूरे इंडिया का पता होना चाहिए आपको, अपने स्टेट का भी, बेस्ट स्टेट का भी और इंडिया का, तीनों का आप अच्छे से फैक्चुअल एनालिसिस कर लीजिएगा, है ना. इसके अलावा आपके आंसर्स में जो एक कॉमन ऑब्जर्वेशन मेरी थी वो ये थी कि आपके आंसर कई बार उस तरह से नहीं आ रहे थे कि एज इफ़ यू आर आंसरिंग टू मी. ये इस तरह से आ रहे थे कि एज इफ़ यू आर गिविंग द स्पीच टू समवन. जैसे कि मैंने पूछा कि आप फिलोसफी को एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में कैसे यूज़ करोगे, तो आपने स्टार्टिंग अच्छी की कि एथिक्स है, लेकिन आप कैसे यूज़ करोगे? आप उसको बताने लगे कि पॉलिटिक्स में एथिक्स बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट ये है. तो वो इस तरह से ऐसे टाइप का आप बताने लगे. तो आप बता सकते हो कि आई कैन बिकम मोर एथिकल, आई कैन मोटिवेट द पीपल टू बी एथिकल यूजिंग माई नॉलेज ऑफ फिलोसफी. मैं उनको कन्विंस कर सकता हूँ कि एथिकल होने से आप कैसे हैप्पी रह सकते हो, कैसे आप लाइफ में और सेटिस्फाइड रह सकते हो. तो कहीं ना कहीं आपका खुद का जो एक पर्सनल आउटलुक है वो मिसिंग है आंसर्स में। अभी कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा थ्योरेटिकल व्यू ज़्यादा आ रहा है, मतलब जो कि आपको 180 से ऊपर जाने में रोड ब्लॉक क्रिएट करेगा। आपका इंटरव्यू बहुत अच्छा भी जाएगा ना, तब भी रोड ब्लॉक हो सकता है, क्योंकि आपका जो पर्सनल टच है ना वो आंसर्स में उतना नहीं आ रहा है। शायद आप प्रिपेयर तो कर रहे हो उस तरह से, आपका प्रिपरेशन तो दिख रहा है जिस तरह से आपका आंसर्स आ रहे हैं, लेकिन उस तरह की शायद आपको फीडबैक किसी ने दी नहीं होगी। हो सकता है आपको अभी अवेयर भी ना हो उस बारे में, कि अगर आपसे पूछा गया है कि आप की लर्निंग क्या है जॉब में, तो आप वो चीज़ बताइए ना जो चीज़ आपको टच की हो। उससे मैं आपके बारे में जानना चाह रहा हूँ, मैं ये नहीं जानना चाह रहा कि आपके पोस्ट पे जो इंसान बैठा हुआ है उसको क्या लर्निंग हुई होगी। हर किसी को अलग लर्निंग होती है। आप गवर्नमेंट डिपार्टमेंट में जा रहे हो, वहाँ पे ट्रांसपेरेंसी करनी है, एक्सेसिबल होना है, वो तो उनकी रिक्वायरमेंट है। ठीक है, आपने वो अच्छा पॉइंट रेस किया, दैट शोज योर सेंसिटिविटी ऑल्सो, कि आप राइट चीज़ों को एम्फोसाइज कर रहे हो। लेकिन लर्निंग का मतलब होता है कि जो आपको जा करके खुद मतलब फीलिंग आई हो, एक तरह से आपका कुछ नया डायमेंशन ओपन अप हुआ हो। और उसमें भी बहुत सारे पॉइंट बोलना ठीक नहीं है। आपका क्या होता है कि आप लिस्ट बनाते चले जाते हो आंसर में, तो उससे फिर वो एक आध पॉइंट अच्छा आता भी है, वो फिर उसमें मिक्स हो जाता है। फिर ऐसा लगता है कि आपको जहाँ पर एम्फोसाइज करना चाहिए था, जैसे आपने बोला कि एक्सेसिबल, तो आप उसको एम्फोसाइज कर सकते थे। एक पॉइंट को एम्फोसाइज करोगे, अच्छे पॉइंट को एम्फोसाइज करोगे, दैट विल गिव मोर वैल्यू रादर देन गिविंग ए लिस्ट ऑफ सो मेनी गुड पॉइंट्स। बिकॉज अगर आप बहुत सारी लिस्ट दे रहे हो, उसका मतलब इतनी सारी चीज़ें आप नहीं कर सकते। आपका अभी कैरियर बहुत छोटा सा है ना, तो आप इतनी सारी चीज़ों को आप प्रैक्टिकली कैसे मतलब, तो आप एक दो चीज़ों को थोड़ा और क्रिस्टल क्लियर अपने आंसर्स को फ्रेम कीजिए और प्रैक्टिकली सोचिए चीज़ों को। ठीक है, जैसे मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा कि टेक्नोलॉजी और टेक्नोलॉजी का रोल, तो आपका डायरेक्शन ठीक है, डायरेक्शन में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, आपका वे ऑफ थिंकिंग भी ठीक है, ओवरऑल जो थॉट है वो ठीक है, लेकिन लैंग्वेज में और क्लैरिटी आ सकती है। कीवर्ड्स को एम्फोसाइज कर सकते हो। आपको पता होना चाहिए कि मैं अगर ये क्वेश्चन आता है तो मैं यहाँ पर किस चीज़ पे एम्फोसाइज करूँगा, मेरा मेन पॉइंट क्या होगा, क्योंकि वहाँ से आपकी पर्सनैलिटी की वेटेज दिखेगी कि आपका पर्सनल स्टैंड ये है। आर यू गेटिंग सम आइडिया जो मैं बोलना चाह रहा हूँ? ठीक है, और इस चीज़ के लिए आप ऐसा भी कर सकते हो कि यू कैन टेक सम टाइम टू थिंक, बिकॉज आप सभी आंसर्स को जल्दीबाजी में दे रहे हो। हालांकि क्वेश्चन सारे एक्सपेक्टेड ही होंगे आपके, जो भी हमने क्वेश्चंस पूछे हैं तो आपके डेफ से आपने एक्सपेक्ट भी किए होंगे कि ये क्वेश्चन आएंगे ही। लेकिन कहीं ना कहीं या तो कोई प्रिपेयर्डनेस की कमी है, या ऑन द स्पॉट भी कहीं कभी कभी आप थोड़ा सोच सकते हो कि कैसे फ्रेमिंग करें पॉइंट्स की। कभी कभी ऐसा भी हो रहा है कि अच्छे पॉइंट बाद में निकल के आ रहे हैं। जैसे जब मैंने क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि इंडिया में फ़िलासफ़ी बेस्ड प्रैक्टिस हम क्यों नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो बाद में आपके कुछ अच्छे पॉइंट निकल के आए। लैंग्वेज वाला, स्टेट ऑफ बिहार में पॉलिटिक्स के बारे में जो आपने क्वेश्चन बताया कि उनकी जो प्राइमरी फोकस है वो कास्ट और ये आइडेंटिटीज़ पर है। क्वेश्चन ये था कि बिहार में व्हाट आर द पॉलिटिकल रीजन्स ऑफ बैकवर्डनेस ऑफ बिहार एज कम्पेयर टू अदर स्टेट्स और द नेशनल एवरेज।
वो पॉलिटिकल वायलेंस का कल्चर बहुत एक्सट्रीम है बिहार में, बिकॉज सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं, मतलब काफ़ी सारे स्प्लेंडर ग्रुप्स भी है ना, जैसे आपने कास्ट बेस्ड वायलेंस भी अभी भी बिहार में एग्जिस्ट करती है। रणवीर सेना है, आपने नाम सुना होगा, है ना, तो कास्ट बेस्ड वायलेंस में लोगों के घर जला दिए थे। इतनी एक्सट्रीम पॉलिटिकल वायलेंस में और कहीं नहीं देखने को मिल रही। यूपी में पॉलिटिकल कंपटीशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, लेकिन इतनी है यूपी में भी पॉलिटिकल वायलेंस, लेकिन इतनी एक्सट्रीम नहीं है जितनी कि पीपल एग्जैक्टली फियर पॉलिटिशियंस, कि आईएएस ऑफिसर्स भी रहे हैं तो उनकी भी मॉब लिंचिंग हुई है। ये सारी चीज़ें हमें बिहार में ही देखने को मिलती हैं। सो दिस इज वन ऑफ द थिंग। और डोमिनेंट कास्ट जो है वो बहुत ज़्यादा वो सब चीज़ें
एक था
establish
यहाँ पे
कर-
पॉलिटिकल डेमोक्रेसी के मतलब सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिक डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में बोल सकता था। सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिक डेमोक्रेसी नहीं है, चाहे वो सोशल स्ट्रक्चर हो इस टाइप का, या इकोनॉमिक डेमोक्रेसी में इलेक्शन लड़ना कॉस्टली है, विनेबिलिटी कास्ट से डिसाइड हो रहा है या पैसे से डिसाइड हो रहा है, मसल पावर, मनी पावर, ये सब आना चाहिए था उसमें।
थोड़ा सा उसको better कर सकते
फिर ये भी है ना कि कंसंट्रेशन ऑफ वेल्थ भी पॉलिटिशियंस के ही पास है, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्रियल बेस इतना ज़्यादा कुछ है नहीं। HDI आपको जरूर पता है
हाँ,
बिकॉज उससे हम पॉलिटिक्स का भी क्वेश्चन आंसर कर सकते हैं। HDI आप पता करिए,
बिल्कुल देख
देखा
लूँगा
नाम
मैं।
का। मुझे आपके आंसर्स अच्छे लगे एक्चुअली में, स्पेशली फ्री विल का जो था और डिटर्मिनिज्म का जो था, बैलेंस करके आंसर कर रहे हैं। तो ऐसा भी नहीं है कि पूरी तरीके से डिटर्मिनिज्म में जा रहे हैं। मेरिट और जो मार्जिनाइजेशन वाला आंसर भी था ना, यू केम एग्जैक्टली ऑन द पॉइंट कि जितना बैलेंस होना चाहिए। थोड़ा सिर्फ उस आंसर में वेयर आई वाज आस्किंग कि विमेन रिलेटेड जो इश्यूज हैं कि विमेन पोजेस्ड और ये सारी चीज़ें, उसमें आप क्वेश्चन में थोड़ा भटक गए थे, तो आप उसको हेल्थ केयर पे ले गए थे। एक्चुअली प्रॉब्लम हेल्थ केयर नहीं है, प्रॉब्लम ये है कि पेट्रियार्कल सिस्टम है, उसके कारण विमेन अपने आप को एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पाती। तो एक्सप्रेस करने का एक ही तरीका बचता है, बिकॉज उससे क्या है, अटेंशन मिल जाता है, देवी आ गई, घोस्ट आ गए, इस तरीके की
उस
चीज़ें।
लाइन में सोचना चाहिए था।
तो ये वाली चीज़। बाकी देखिए एक चीज़ है, व्हाट आई नोटिस्ड इट, व्हाट आई लाइक अबाउट यू, कि फिलॉसफी आपने पढ़ा है तो आप एकेडमिक रेफरेंस देते तो हैं, बट वो आपकी अपनी सोच से आता है। तो लाइक यू एंगेज विद फिलॉसफी, ऐसा दिखाई देता है आपके आंसर्स में। बट हाँ, क्योंकि आपकी फ्लुएंसी कहीं ना कहीं आपकी डिसएडवांटेज बन रही है, बिकॉज आप एक ही फ्लो में बोलते हो, आप कंटिन्यूस बोलते जाते हो।
हाँ, वो वही पॉइंट है कि आप पॉइंट को एम्फसाइज कर सकते हो थोड़ा सा कहीं कहीं पे। कंटेंट को जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको ज़्यादा पॉइंट बताने हैं। अगर आपको लगता है कि 2-3 पॉइंट सुटेबली बता दिए मैंने, इंपॉर्टेंट बता दिए, तो यू कैन स्टे देयर। जहाँ पर स्पेशली ओपिनियन बेस्ड है,
तो
क्योंकि अगर पूरी लिस्ट दे दो ना तो मेंस का आंसर बन जाता है कि क्या क्या फैक्टर्स हैं।
नॉर्मली सर ऐसे थोड़ा मैं वर्बोस नहीं हूँ, मतलब एज फार एज इंटरव्यू इज कंसर्न, वर्बोसिटी आ जाता है ऐसा कंसाइज करने में, फिर अचानक से ऐसे रोक के फिर सोचना होता है कि हाँ ये फिर ये, रादर देन कैसे 1-2 पॉइंट करते, 2-3 पॉइंट के बाद वो एक्चुअल आंसर आता है कि हाँ तीसरे पॉइंट में था मेजर पॉइंट।
वो थोड़ा सा पहले से आप थोड़ी प्रैक्टिस करोगे सोचने की, और फिर आप पीछे से प्रैक्टिस कीजिए। जो इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं उसमें प्रायोरिटाइज कीजिए। आपने कोई रजिस्टर बनाया होगा, वहीं पे प्रायोरिटाइज कर लीजिए उसको कि मुझे अगर ये क्वेश्चन आएगा तो ये पॉइंट बोलना है। मतलब देखिए 30-40% तो क्वेश्चन आपके एक्सपेक्टेड आ जाते हैं
जी।
तो वहाँ से भी आपकी पर्सनैलिटी को पता चल जाता है कि आप किस चीज़ पर फोकस करते हैं।
देखिए आपका इंटरव्यू डिटरमाइन तो है ऑलरेडी, अगेन वी आर यूजिंग डिटरमिनिस्टिक, क्योंकि आपके वर्क एक्सपीरियंस से क्वेश्चन आएंगे। लास्ट टाइम था आपका जॉब,
हाँ काफ़ी।
तो आपके वर्क एक्सपीरियंस से क्वेश्चन आएंगे, तो आप उसके लिए पहले से अपने पॉइंट्स रेडी रख सकते हैं कि आई वांट टू एम्फसाइज दिस एंड दिस, बस इसी चीज़ की कमी है, इसके अलावा किसी भी चीज़ की कमी नहीं है। फैक्ट्स तो देखिए हम ऐड कर लेंगे, अभी तो आपके इंटरव्यू में टाइम है, 4 मार्च है ना, पूरा 1 महीना, फैक्ट्स तो हम ऐड कर लेंगे। बाकी मुझे आप थिंकिंग पर्सनालिटी लगी, तो अगर आप ये दिखा पाए उनको, तो आई थिंक आप ले जाओगे उसको 200+, बिकॉज आप एकेडमिक आंसर भी एकेडमिकली नहीं बोल रहे हो। हाँ, मतलब मैंने बोला ना, आपकी स्टार्टिंग बहुत अच्छी होती है, लेकिन बाद में वो बहुत जनरलाइज टाइप का हो जाता है। जो स्टार्टिंग वाला इंप्रेशन है वो सेम आंसर में बाद में खराब हो जाता है। तो मतलब यहाँ पर मैक्सिमाइज नहीं करना है, यहाँ पर ऑप्टिमाइज करना है आपको। जो इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट है उससे आपकी ओपिनियन की क्लैरिटी आएगी कि आपके लिए क्या चीज़ इंपॉर्टेंट है इसमें से, है ना। अभी भी 170+ तो अभी भी आ ही जाएंगे काइंड ऑफ परफॉर्मेंस आराम से।
आपको देखिए फीडबैक जो है 200+ के लिए दे रहे हैं हम लोग, तो है ना। आपके 173 ऑलरेडी आए हुए हैं, 190 तक भी आ सकते हैं, कोई ऐसी समस्या नहीं है। लेकिन अभी क्योंकि टाइम भी है आपके पास में, नॉलेज भी ऑलरेडी है ही, सिर्फ आपको हल्का सा प्रायोरिटाइज करना है, तो वहीं से आपके 200+ जंप हो जाएंगे।
थोड़ा मैं स्माइल नहीं करता हूँ, ऐसा लगता है
नहीं देखो, आर्टिफिशियल स्माइल करने का तो फ़ायदा है नहीं, बट यू आर रीजनेबल इनफ मेरे हिसाब से। तो जेन्यून हो तो ठीक है, बाकी अब आर्टिफिशियल करोगे तो फिर वो दिखेगा। और
आपने मुझे विश नहीं किया।
सॉरी,
आपने मुझे विश नहीं
अरे
किया
मैम
for greetings।
जी।
तो देखिए जब आप सोच के आंसर बोलोगे तो स्माइल तो नहीं कर पाओगे।
वही
हाँ
मुझे लगता है।
हाँ, तो स्माइल का कोई ऐसा इशू नहीं है। सीरियस क्वेश्चंस में तो यू विल बिकम सीरियस, है ना। और वो अंडर कॉन्फिडेंट होना वो अलग चीज़ होती है कि आप सिचुएशन में हो, आप नर्वस हो गए हो, वो एक अलग चीज़ है। बट आपकी जो एक नेचुरल पर्सनैलिटी है वो नेचुरल है। हमेशा स्माइलिंग होना कोई ज़रूरी नहीं है।
आप क्यों नहीं चाहते कि आपकी हॉबी से क्वेश्चन पूछें?
मैम हॉबी कोई सब्सटेंसिव
ऐसा
सा
कुछ नहीं है।
हॉबी है नहीं मेरा।
इंडिया में कहाँ ही सब्सटैंटिव हॉबी होती है किसी की, कौन हमें लिखता है कि म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट बहुत अच्छे प्ले कर रहा है और ये सारी चीज़ें। अभी तो फिर भी आप लोग डाइवर्स लिखने लगे हो। जब नेटफ्लिक्स का सब्सक्रिप्शन आया था तब तो सभी लिखते थे कि वॉचिंग सीरीज, ये तो हम पैसिविटी से करते हैं, बट हाँ इसके ऊपर क्वेश्चन बन सकते हैं। सो बी प्रिपेयर्ड, ऐसा मत सोचो है ना, अगर मैंने लिख दिया है कुछ एरिया डिटरमाइन कर दिया है तो डेफिनेटली उस पर प्रिपेयर करके जाना ही चाहिए बहुत अच्छे से। डोंट थिंक लाइक दैट। ओके, द रैशनल है, रैशनैलिटी आप में है, आई थिंक वही सर्च
हाँ।
कर रहे हैं।
ऑप्शनल बहुत, आपने ऑप्शनल के बहुत अच्छे आंसर दिए, फिलोसफी के ऊपर ने काफ़ी अच्छे आंसर्स दिए। जितने भी क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछे आई वाज कम्प्लीटली हैप्पी, इवन दो आई एम नॉट फ्रॉम द फिलोसफी ऑप्शनल, बट आई इट इज़ एरिया ऑफ माई इंटरेस्ट। तो जो भी मेरे एक एज ए ऑर्डिनरी पर्सन मेरे क्वेश्चन थे, तो वो सब आई वाज कम्प्लीटली सेटिस्फाइड।
You have to like grab that 10-20 extra marks,
हाँ, वही वही मैं कोशिश कर रहा हूँ, बस 190 प्लस आ जाए।
है ना, वो ले जाइए बिकॉज वो आपकी सर्विस चेंज कर देगी, वो आपका कैडर चेंज कर देगी।
हाँ, ये जो इनफैक्ट जो ये क्वेश्चन भी था कि व्हाई यू वांट टू जॉइन, तो इसको थोड़ा सा और
मैं कर लूँगा, मैं भी प्रिपेयर्ड नहीं हूँ इस चीज़ पे। नॉर्मली सब जेनरिक आंसर की पब्लिक गुड, पब्लिक वेलफेयर, ये वो अभी करूँगा। वो एस्पेक्ट अभी मतलब डेफ रिलेटेड मैंने किया नहीं है।
दो ही पॉइंट डालो आप, कोई लिस्ट बनाने की जरूरत नहीं, दो ही पॉइंट डालो कुछ। डाइवर्सिटी,
हाँ,
और डाइवर्सिटी को सोचो, इस चीज को देखो, फील करने की जरूरत है। कोई भी जो वर्ड होता है ना, वर्ड तो सबके लिए सेम ही है। आप भी डाइवर्सिटी बोलो, मैं भी बोलूँ, मैडम भी बोले, लेकिन आप उस डाइवर्सिटी को कैसे एम्फसाइज करते हो, और जब आपसे डाइवर्सिटी के बारे में पूछे तो आप उसको कैसे एक्सप्लेन करते हो। तो पहले आप फील करो कि भाई जॉब में मैं इस जॉब में हूँ, इस जॉब में मेरे पास ये चीज अच्छी चीजें हैं, ये चीज भी मुझे कंटिन्यू रहेंगी। आपने बताओ कि भाई हाँ मेरी बहुत जॉब अच्छी है, इसमें ये चीजें हैं, और यहाँ पर अगर ये चीजें और ऐड हो जाए, डाइवर्सिटी का मतलब क्या होता है, डाइवर्सिटी सोचो आपकी डाइवर्सिटी का मतलब मेरे लिए क्या है, उसको फील करो। जब फील करोगे तो फिर वो आपकी फीलिंग निकल के आएगी। वो फीलिंग ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि आप अंदर से वो आंसर को दो।
जी।
आप तो बिहार से हो, आप तो आराम से ये क्वेश्चन को जस्टिफाई कर सकते हो। लेकिन एक सोसाइटी का भी पर्सपेक्टिव है, दूसरा है कि बिहार में ज़रूरत है इस चीज़ की, बिकॉज बहुत ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स हैं हर तरीके की। तो कोई भी एक प्रॉब्लम ले लीजिए जिससे आप अटैच होते हो कि, और उसको आप जस्टिफाई कर पाओ, वहाँ आप बोल रहे हो।
इनफैक्ट फिलोसफी को एथिकल पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से भी लिंक कर सकते हो, रैशनैलिटी से भी लिंक कर सकते हो।
क्योंकि जैसे वो वाला क्वेश्चन था ना कि फिलोसफी इन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन कैसे, उसका अच्छा आर्टिकुलेशन ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं होता है कि अनलेस कि मैं सोच के आऊँ उस चीज़ को। क्योंकि है क्या फिलोसफी, अब नॉर्मल जानने वाले के लिए लगेगा कि फिलोसफी कुछ है ऐसा नॉलेज के बारे में, लेकिन ऐसे मुझे पता है कि हाँ इतना, अब उसको ऐसा कंस्ट्रेन करके एक जगह पे ले आना, तो
आर्टिकल वाला अब तक काफी अच्छा
ये सब क्वेश्चन मैं प्रिपेयर कर लूँगा जो मोर और लेस एक्सपेक्टेड लाइंस पे है।
फिलॉसफी ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस के बारे में है, तो जब हम एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में जाते हैं तो ह्यूमन डिग्निटी के ऊपर अगर हम ध्यान रखें तो दैट इज अ प्लस पॉइंट। और ये चीज़ यूपीएससी पूछ रही है बार बार एथिक्स में कि सिविल सर्वेंट का काम सिर्फ इतना ही नहीं होता है कि वो रिजिडिटी से रूल्स फॉलो करे, ह्यूमन डायमेंशन देखना है, और फिलॉसफी पूरा ह्यूमन एग्जिस्टेंस के बारे में है, तो इट गोज देयर।
थैंक यू मैम।